racial, sexual, and religious chauvinism to rabid nationalist fervor are beginning not to work. A new consciousness is developing which sees the earth as a single organism and recognizes that an organism at war with itself is doomed.
Monetary economics, therefore, is thus the use of currency as a means for facilitating the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. Monetary economics is fundamentally based on selling one's labor as a commodity in the open market. Keep that in mind. Planned obsolescence is essentially the deliberate withholding of efficiency so the product in question breaks down respectively fast. I would say planned obsolescence comes in two basic forms. The first is intentional, with manufacturers actually timing their products for breakdown or obsolescence. I find that Apple Computer is a great example of strategic planned obsolescence in action. I mean, if you examine their marketing tactics, you'll find that every product they have has at least 3 to 5 stages of release. The first always being obsolete within 3 months. If you examine the history of the iPod, for example, you see this in action. It's actually amazing. When the marketing department of Apple stages of release of any new product, they are thinking many generations ahead, with the goal of you basically buying the same thing over and over again. Have you ever stopped to look around at how much wasteful garbage there is out there that's being mass-produced for the sake of you to buy it? If you look closely, you'll find that 80 to 90% of the products out there have no legitimate basis whatsoever and exist entirely for the purpose of cyclical consumption and thus profit. The result of this need for cyclical consumption are nothing but unacceptable. For not only are resources being neglectfully used in products that are designed not to last, wasting human energy and materials, the amount of frivolous waste and pollution is staggering. In other words, waste is a deliberate byproduct of industry's need to perpetuate cyclical consumption. The obsolete or expired product is trashed, often to landfills, polluting the environment, while the constant multiplicity wastes resources and accelerates the pollution. The more damage there is, the more profit that can be obtained by offering solutions. If I had more time, I would go into other elements in this regard, such as the medical establishment in America, which does nothing less than deliberately thrive off the sickness of the population. We are all aware of the constant prostitution that exists with our so-called leaders. Lobbying and campaign contributions in America alone constitute billions of dollars a year. And make no mistake, this money is given entirely under the pretense of putting the donating party's agenda in action. The more an economy expands, the greater the debt that is created. This sets up an inevitable systemic crisis. For the money needed to pay the interest charged on the loans does not exist in the economy outright.
Said to the teacher, "You're excused." After she left, he put his arm around me and he said, "Why? Everybody does." I said, "Everybody once believed the earth was flat." That doesn't make it flat. So he said, well, what do you think of American history? I said, it's strictly BS, bad science. This is during the Depression, the last big depression, the 29 crash, or the 1930 crash. And at that time, 15 million Americans were sleeping in every empty lot. And that bothered me because there were things in store windows, they just didn't have the money. They bought houses and cars, and the banks failed. So they couldn't pay them off, and they were kicked out of their houses. But the sun was out, and things were in store windows, it's just that people didn't have the money. So in my own mind, I said, this shit has got to go. Well, this was one of the major things that I read into, that scientists were not infallible. They had opinions, they had egos, just like everybody else. And some scientists were patriotic, some worked on weapons of war. I do not consider them scientists. A scientist is one who cannot be trained in one area, optics, engineering, structures. A scientist is one that has curiosity about our social system, poverty, hunger, international affairs. That was a scientist. So I found some out islands about 300 miles east of Tahiti. I think it was called Tuamotu. And when I got there, all the natives walked around completely nude. And I never saw a male stare at a female body, because they were swimming nude ever since they were children. So they always looked at the eyes of a female. But in the States, the camera in a movie moves in on the cleavage line. When a girl crosses her legs, the camera covers that. When she walked, it's her rear end. That's where men get that from. They're not born that way. Women think, well, that's how men are. That's not how they are. That's how they're made by this society. Now, you couldn't sell a nude magazine to any natives, and they wouldn't collect pictures of nude women, because they didn't know what that meant. If you covered a girl's nose and you said to a guy, did you ever see a girl's nose? No. Well, show him a little bit, he's going to have to loosen his collar. Drink much of that. So our culture is warped. You know, I've been to hundreds of restrooms, and I've never found a place to rest.
That statement is really erroneous. A resource-based economy doesn't use money. Communism does. It doesn't have banks. Communism does. It doesn't have social stratification. Communism does. They have political leaders in office. We want to surpass that as quickly as possible with cybernetic systems. And communism was for the labor class. And a resource-based economy is very much for the labor class. We want to eliminate it as quickly as possible. We want to do away with boring and monotonous jobs. So it's very different.
Yeah.
It's not like any system that's gone before.
It's very powerful that what you're doing is actually putting it into focus and putting it into practice. What the great philosophers and religious teachers have been saying since antiquity. So.